I listened to this interview with you and Tim Ferriss,
Mm.
who I love, by the way. But you had this amazing Grand Canyon story.
You added "but" in there.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was an amazing interview, but
Well, I didn't mean to say but. When
We'll cut it out, Alex.
No. What I was trying to get to was this amazing Grand Canyon story that you had, where you kind of discovered the skill of being mindful and being where you are. Can you tell that story? I don't think Matt's heard
Yeah,
it. I thought it was really powerful, actually.
oh, cool. Yeah. So I haven't talked about this much. It was there's a little backstory to the story.
Okay.
And so the event happened my freshman or sophomore year in college. But me getting to college was really windy. And so I grew up in action sports. I grew up, off-access counterculture. I didn't fit in stick and ball sports. I didn't understand these man-made rules, these artificial rules and these adults screaming at kids. Like I didn't fit in any of that growing up. I was like, whoa, why are you raising your voice at me? And
What'd you play?
I tried soccer.
Okay.
That's kind of where I've sorted what I'm saying out.
Yeah.
And my parents were incredibly laissez-faire. I love my parents, but laissez-faire parenting is like, I know you're 6, but can you figure your way out home? Like we grew up in like 20 acres in like, it was wild. Like 20 acres is a lot for a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't 6, maybe it was 8. And it's like, hey, be home by dinner.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we had no street lights. Yeah, you like that,
Right?
You like it till you're in it.
Yeah, right. No, it for a lot of reasons it was epic.
Yeah.
No street lights, dirt roads, no real neighbors, me in the wild. And if it got dark and you're lost, it's really scary.
Yeah, at 8 years old.
Yeah. So I had to come up learning Mother Nature, the rules of Mother Nature, and kind of how to play in that sandbox. And then I go to like these. How big is a soccer field? Like,
Is it bigger
it's
than a
bigger.
football
I think
field?
it's bigger, right?
Like another extra 10, 20 yards? It's definitely wider. Yeah.
So, anyways,
Roughly 120 yards.
and I was like, they're like, focus. And I was like, yeah, good. Oh, okay, on what? Like the ball. And I focus on the ball. I'm doing my thing, and then I miss the a competitor rips it right off my feet, and they're like, well, you got to focus. I was like, I was
I'm looking at the ball. Yeah.
and they're frustrated with me, and they're like, so it didn't make sense that like I couldn't step on the line or step over the line. Like what are these rules? Aren't we just trying to score? And so, anyways, there's a long narrative to say that I didn't like rules that didn't make sense to me, and then I found Mother Nature that taught, and I respected those rules because they were swift and harsh and real, and
Yeah.
and so I struggled in high school mightily, and I needed deep mentorship, and so I on my PSAT. Did you guys take PSATs?
The practice, yeah.
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 I got a 0.
How'd you get a 0?
Yeah.
SAT. I got a 0. I went surfing on both of them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't show up?
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I think you get points for writing your name.
That's what
so.
they told me. Yeah. So there's 2 things in there. One was like this fear of like showing up and not having the goods. So I didn't have that internal mechanism, right, sorted out. And it was really cool to be hardcore and just blow it off. And I had that narrative inside of me. So I ended up going to a community college, and it was awesome. So it was the first or second year, and I fell in love with learning once I got to that environment. I was like, oh my God, the psychology of things, the world of the invisible is alive. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And no one ever had to ask me to read a book from that point forward. I think I read one book prior to that.
Yeah.
And so I fell in love with it. This one professor, 2 professors actually, they said, hey, listen, we're going to take 11 of you guys down into the Grand Canyon for this leadership camp. It's a silent, basically solo and silent retreat leadership experience. You in? I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I went down there, and like it flipped me upside down.
Really?
Like it knocks so much calcium off, and it really fundamentally reconnected some stuff that I was disconnected to. There was a mindfulness practice, a journaling practice. We had to self-sustain ourselves, as like an 18-year-old kid or whatever, at the bottom of Mother Nature. And then we had to rip out of there early because the storm was coming.
Oh my God.
And so it was like we had to get up. We pushed it, and then were all spread out on the Grand Canyon. You couldn't see anybody, the other 11 or 12. And so it was my first introduction to mindfulness. And this was in 1991. And so,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
So you just go down there and you brought books. Is it no technology and a journal? You
Yeah,
said? So
yeah.
you just writing down.
2 books that they provided us. One was the Tao Te Ching, which is the Taoist Bible,
Okay.
and it's written by Lao Tzu. And there's 81 koans. There's 81 poems, if you
Okay.
will, and they're epic.
Really?
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
the other
check it
book
out.
was it was called The Zen of Seeing. Or
Okay.
was it The Art of Seeing? I'll get the title and I'll share it with you. And so that was it in a journal, and go get to know yourself over the next 7 days.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
are those like ancient philosophies?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
The Tao Te Ching was, it's like it's their Bible.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
It's their
Lao
religion.
Tzu. Yeah, that's exactly it. But it's not written like. If I don't know if you guys have a spiritual affiliation, but it's not written like what you would imagine.
Yeah.
It's 81 poems, and the reason it's 81 is because you flip that number around and it's 1 infinity.
Whoa.
Yeah, so and listen, this was written thousands of years ago.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so 81 and 8 and 18, those are kind of cool numbers.
Yeah.